So if you want to make money online, I'm sure you've heard of SMMA by now, right? Social media marketing. And a lot of the YouTubers that we kind of look up to, right? Alex Hormozy, Alex Becker, these guys got their start in some kind of social media agency. And I'm making this video because the mistake I made was thinking that I can just follow what they did with their social media agency in my AI agency and, accordingly, make money. So really this video is for me to understand the differences because they're two completely different offers, right? That's what we're going to go over in this video. So before we get started, my name is Jeet. I run ApplyGPT. We help businesses implement custom AI solutions to save money and time. And that's really what most AI agencies are going to do, as you'll see. Let's get started. So a social media marketing agency, right? Why does a social media marketing agency exist? Well, businesses need more customers. And so an SMMA uses social media to help a business get more customers, right? And this could be in the form of SEO, it could be ads, it could be making content. Let's break that down further to its lowest level. This is being annoying. So what does every business owner want? They want to make a profit, right? You start a business because you want to make money. Profit is derived by revenue minus expenses. You already know this, right? And the only two ways to increase profit is to increase revenue or decrease expenses. The way a social media marketing agency works is by increasing the revenue, right? Revenue is derived by the number of customers times the ticket price, how much you charge. So by getting more customers, a social media marketing agency is going to increase the revenue, and because it increases the revenue, the profit increases, the business makes more money, and that's all there is to it, right? Let's compare that to an AI agency. An AI automation agency, wow, these are like all a mouthful of words. Somebody wants their AI services because they want to save time, right? They want to save money and time, and typically those are kind of related. So we use AI to basically automate what they're already doing, right? Let's say an employee takes 10 hours to do something. We use AI and it takes them 1 hour. That is 9 hours that the business has saved, and that is money that's saved, right? Like, in this equation right here, rather than focusing on the revenue, we are focusing the expenses on like the pure time, right? Payroll, right? Like the business owner is paying his or her employees some amount of time, 40 hours a week. So if something takes them 40 hours to do, if we cut that down to 30 hours, right? That 10 extra hours is something that employee can do, something else that employee can do to make the business even more money. So that is why somebody would hire an AI agency, right? And yes, you can go on the revenue side, right? Like I've had a project where I helped the SaaS build a chatbot, and that they charge their customers extra for that chatbot so that like they basically made more money using AI. But for the most part, like most projects, you're going to try to find a way to automate something. And by automating, you're basically saving the business time. And I mean, I didn't say this, but it can be AI, it could be software engineering, it could be no-code tools, some kind of tech, right? Some kind of tech is being used to save the business time. That is the fundamental difference, right? But the cool part, right? I mean, it's not really cool, but it's interesting. This agency, the social media marketing agency, has a completely different problem to solve here, right? Because we're on the revenue side. Specifically, they need to get the marketing to work, right? Despite what you may think, right? Most of these marketing agencies are not making money. And this is something I've had to learn, by being around social media marketing agency entrepreneurs, from coaches and things of that sort, right? When you see, like the top YouTubers showing how they spent $1,000 for that company and they made $10,000 back, right? Like $9,000 ROAS, whatever it is. That's a very hard thing to do, right? That is like top 1%. If you're an amazing copywriter, if you have like your list, like if everything is perfectly dialed down in an ideal case scenario, that is what you get, right? That's like the snapshot. Most marketing agencies don't get that, right? And like if that was the case, then like everybody would just start a marketing agency and just make a ton of money, right? It's not easy. That is a problem you're trying to solve. And so if we break this down like one level deeper here, we're actually working against the algorithm if you want to start an SMMA, right? It's the algorithm, like, so if I want to kind of rank on Google, if I have an SEO business, I need to find a way to get the search term that I'm looking for to rank the website for my client. If I don't get that, then I don't make any money, right? Most of them are performance based now. And so that is a problem you need to solve. And it's not like it's impossible to do. There are agencies that are doing it, but you need to kind of evaluate for yourself, right, whether that's something you want to take on, right? And the second thing is high turnover. So this is something super interesting that nobody talks about, but I've kind of heard firsthand from these agency owners. Just because you make a business, let's say $9,000, right? Like they spend $1,000, they get $10,000 back. That doesn't mean they're going to stay. They can literally just steal your ad creative and just do it themselves and now like it's like you just lost that client, right? And so like they have, you know, like there's ways they'll force like a 6-month contract or something like that. But you're seeing, are you seeing how there's like different problems for each industry, right? This is something I really struggle with. I thought this is just like, if you just build a social media marketing agency, you're gonna make money. But every industry has its own problems, right? Like another big one with the social media marketing agency, that's a lot of words, is that it's high competition, right? There's so many courses online, there's so many YouTube videos. Really, if you know English, right, you don't even need to know English. If you just know a language, you can become a social media marketing agency, right? Now, whether you're good or not is a completely different story, but you're seeing how the barrier to entry is much lower here. Comparing that to an AI agency, right? The big hairy problem there, the main thing you need to solve, if there's one thing you need to solve, is making the AI actually work, right? So if a business comes to you and says, like, this is taking 10 hours, you better get that thing to 1 hour and make sure that it's just as accurate as it was before, if not more accurate. If you don't get that done, like, it doesn't matter. Like nothing else matters. And so like that is the problem you need to solve if you want to be in this business, in this industry. And notice another thing, right? If you don't have technical skills, and like people online say that you don't need technical skills, like you need some technical knowledge to actually like the thing is, you're not, like if you build some AI, like let's say you build even a chatbot, right? Like you don't even need coding experience for that. You're gonna need to know how to integrate that into their website, and that could be as simple as a web snippet code in like the header or something. But you still need some tech experience, right? Like all AI projects, after you build out the AI thing for them, it needs to be integrated into their system. So, I mean, I don't know if it's a controversial take, right? But you'll need to have some kind of technical knowledge. Now, and if you solve this, which like it's probably easier to solve this issue than it is to kind of finding a way to like find like the ad creative that works, right? Where people are spending $100,000-$200,000 to kind of find the winner. It's probably easier to get this done. But on the other hand, like a con on being on this side, right? And this is something I struggle with, is that it's much lower demand, right? Like, even though all these, you know, a lot of people online say that everybody wants AI and it's like the next big thing and stuff, you know, sitting here on June 27th in 2024, that hype is dying down slowly, right? But it is a growing industry still. So what that means is there are going to be businesses that are interested in AI. It's just that not every business will be. So let's say like maybe like 5 to 10% of all businesses, once that hype is completely gone down, are interested. That makes marketing a lot harder for you, right? You can't just put an ad, or you can't just send out a cold email like these guys can with an AI, or excuse me, an SMMA, and get the same kind of result. Like you'll still get results. Like, I did do cold email and it did work. It was just it was much harder to do. Like just let me put it this way, right? What business would say no to getting more clients and getting more customers? Not many, right? And so like compare that to AI, right? There can be some stigma. Like for example, like concrete example, something like relocation, right? That's a very person to person industry. Like when you're going to get assigned a relocation consultant, and they're going to take care of you, or they're going to like answer all your questions personally. If you put a robot in there, right? It's just not the same. It's not the same kind of relationship. And for like a high ticket service in relocation, like it's just not going to cut it, you know? So that's going to be something you're going to have to figure out yourself, right? Like I still think if you're starting out, definitely do some cold outreach. It could be DMs, it could be cold emails, cold calls. It doesn't matter. You get your first few clients, right? But this is a demand capture offer. So what that means is you need to kind of target people who are already interested in using AI. They already know AI is going to help them, or they think AI can help them. If you try to target like everyone, it doesn't work. Whereas with SMMA, you can ask any business if they want to get more customers. And I mean, the few cases where they have too many customers, like maybe lawyers, right, from like some of the testing I've done, they might say no. But like, you see my point here, like how this is a complete, you have pros and cons on each side. That's all I'm trying to say here, you know? And the second is like higher LTV, right? With an SMMA, you're like, I mean, it depends. Like it depends on every business and stuff, right? But you can charge much higher prices for AI just because that skill is a lot more scarce, excuse me. And the value, like if you do it right, is probably going to be higher, right? It depends again, right? But comparing that to like an SMMA, like a lot of people now are just running performance-based offers. You don't pay unless I give you what you want. With AI, there's a bit more wiggle room, right? So I hope you're seeing that, right? Like don't get blinded into the fact that because everybody online is making money with SMMA, like you can too. You're going to struggle either way. Just pick which one you're going to struggle with, right? And I mean, this is the final thing, and I think this one took me the longest to actually understand, is niching down. I'm going to start here. Niching down in an AI agency is actually like, if you try to productize your service as an AI agency, it just becomes a SaaS. right? And I don't hear anybody talking about this, and feel free to comment below if you think otherwise. But if you're like doing the same exact implementation again and again for a client, you might as well just turn it into a SaaS, right? And I mean, like, if you don't already know this, like, the SaaS game is pretty tough, right? You're dealing with a lot of competitors. You obviously will have to build out a full SaaS, which isn't the end of the world, right? But you're entering like a whole different arena, like with a whole different set of competitors. On the other hand, with something like SMMA, you can scale down. You can just run the same ad creative, the same strategy, the same content thing again and again for each client. You can do the same thing with an AI agency, right? But there will be a bit of a custom piece to it, right? So maybe you're offering the same service, maybe you're doing the same automation, but each company is like a different data source that they're getting their data from, right? Or like it's a slightly different prompt, it's a slightly different service offering. So it's not like it has to be a SaaS, but the more you niche down in an AI agency, right, the more like you might as well just build a SaaS, and if there's probably already a SaaS for that thing, right? The SaaS market becomes its own little game. Whereas with e-commerce, right, you can't SaaS down because it's the algorithm that you're working against, right? Like you can't, like, if you try to kind of push the same content again and again, you're fighting against the algorithm. So it's just not possible. So I hope that makes sense. These were like some of the learnings that I spent a lot of time just trying to figure out. Like, it was just me sitting on my desk researching, a lot of the content that's there on SMMA and trying to figure out how it applies to my agency. But the reality is there's just two completely different things. One is trying to increase revenue. The other is trying to decrease expenses. So I hope that kind of helps you think through, when you're thinking through your business model and your value proposition and your offer, how you want to go about approaching the AI agency world, right? It's like full disclaimer here. I did not start a social media marketing agency, right? But a lot of the stuff is from people that have taught me about this industry and coaches that I've paid for and telling me like the differences. So if this was helpful, comment down below, give a like, and let me know what you guys think about this. I'm super open to discussion and hearing more about, the pros and cons of each side. All right, thanks guys. Bye-bye.